I don't disagree that there are people that specifically target Jewish people. But again, the same is true of white people. The same is true of Christians. And we never, ever.
Not at the same frequency, dude. Come on.
What's up, Zachary? How you doing?
I'm doing well. I have to push back a little bit on that, Rob. I'm a free speech absolutist. I believe that neo-Nazis should be, able to say what they want. Same with, these people that are pro-Hamas. Sure. They shouldn't for just speaking, but that's not what they were doing at these college campuses. They were literally intimidating Jewish students. They wouldn't allow them to go to class. They wouldn't allow them to do a whole host of things. And, what's going on in these college campuses, being anti-white and anti-Christian is very true. But I don't really see them beating up on Christian or white people that often. I'm seeing a lot of that when it comes to Jewish people, though.
Well, so first off, maybe you haven't been paying attention. I still remember the Berkeley shit way back in the day. Who were people trying to go see, like Ben Shapiro or some shit? It wasn't certainly
a Jew.
Okay, but they weren't beating people because he was Jewish. They were beating people because they were conservatives and going to a conservative point of view. And I can bring up tons and tons of evidence from people that are like red pill speak or what's his name? The guy that does the race IDs or IQ shit. Murray. Like people getting the shit beat out of them. I could see Riley Gain that was locked in a fucking closet or locked in a room as she was attacked on campus. The gun girl, Caitlin.
Yeah, because they were conservatives. I understand that, but the thing is, they were looking strictly at these kids that weren't going to a speaking engagement. They were just going to class. They were living their lives, and they couldn't because they had a fucking yarmulke on.
I don't know. I'll be honest. I'll say this. Certainly
I'm not condoning that shit either, by the way. I'm a conservative and I believe in free speech. You want to say Jews are fucking terrible people? I'm a Jew. You can say I'm a terrible person. I don't give a fuck. I think you're an idiot, but whatever. But when it comes down to the guy that had his visa revoked, he was inciting those people to do those things. He was inciting people to donate money to a known terrorist group, Hamas, that is also, treating their own people terribly by using them as human shields and all sorts of different shit. So where are we going with this? It's always the Jews, and you can't fucking protect Jews?
I don't think it's always the Jews. I'll say that. Do you deny that there have been hate speech laws proposed all over this country that's specific towards Jewish people?
Have there been hate speech laws? Say that again, Rob. Sorry.
There have been hate speech laws proposed all over this country that specifically mention criticism of Jewish people or Israel.
I'm sure there are, just like there's racist laws, race what do you call it? Like enhancements when it comes to certain racist acts. Like if you beat up a black guy and you're saying the N-word while you do it, you get enhancement for whatever it is. There are, but I mean, these people are saying one thing, saying things, but literally preventing and intimidating these people. It's very eerily familiar. Anyone who has any inkling of history, it's very similar to what was happening in the Weimar Republic in the early 30s. And to deny that there's similarities to that is in the so-called brown shirts back then, and now what they're just changing the color to black and wearing a keffiyeh is fucking terrifying to Jews.
So for example, I'll have to look up. I'm not prepared. I don't have the evidence in front of me, but there's certainly been. I don't disagree that there are people that specifically target Jewish people. But again, the same is true of white people. The same is true of Christians, and we never ever.
Not at the same frequency, dude. Come on.
I disagree. Those two white people that were just beaten Cincinnati, Jewish?
No. They were what?
If those were two Jewish people, do you think there'd be a national outcry right now?
I don't think so.
I disagree. I
don't think so, dude.
I bet the House would have already passed a resolution.
I honestly don't. How long did it take people to start actually adhering, fighting the college administration for protecting these Jewish students? It took over 2 years.
There's literally, not only do we see, right, that there were do you remember Evergreen University?
Let's gloss over that. Okay.
No, it's okay. Yes, it took a lot of time, just like at least there was a time when it happened. Show me once ever when white people were being beaten that weren't Jewish that these sort of laws happened. Show me fucking students that were kicked out when it was white people that weren't Jewish. Show me once. So I guess are you going to gloss over that? That it's been more than 2 years? It's been 15 fucking years. So show me that. Or are you just glossing over it?
No, I'm not glossing over it.
Okay, then what's your point? That when it's Jewish people specifically, we took 2 years for justice, but when it's white people in general, fuck them.
No, what I'm getting sick
justice.
Dude, what I'm getting sick of is this, that people are just constantly blaming Jewish people for all this shit. And there's there's actual vehement hatred towards them that there's nothing to see here, folks. Nothing to fucking see here. And someone who's actually trying to fight against it is getting blasted for it.
No, I think is...
even in his comments, everyone's going to say I'm coping and all this fucking bullshit. When you just open your eyes and you'll fucking see it's happening. I'm not saying it's not happening to white people. Of course it is. And it's fucking terrible. And what happened in South Carolina as well with those group of guys beating up that white kid and that white kid just standing in the corner not even fucking helping him is a terrible thing too. And the only excuse is that there's no proof that the kids might have said the N-word. Even if the kid did say the N-word, why beat the shit out of him? Why not just go to the administration and deal with that way?
The problem is this, right? What we see is there's been, I'm not saying all Jewish people, there has been an effort by groups like, I don't know if it's the ACLU, but one of these groups, it's like a big advocacy group for Jewish people. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, you mean the Anti-Defamation League, which is really a communist organization,
Correct.
Not a fucking pro-Jewish organization that also calls fucking Ben Shapiro a Nazi who's a Hasidic Jew? You mean that group?
Yes, that is the group. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
And that's the group that is a Jewish organization? Come on, dude.
What I'm saying is there are groups like that and other groups that existed and have pushed for pushing back against anti-Semitism, which is fine. A lot of times, though, they've pushed back against groups that are traditionally conservative or traditionally white, and they've done something in the same sense that we've seen groups that are Hispanic, that are black, etc., which is they push this sort of cultural Marxist point of view that we are the oppressed and the others are the oppressors. And what I see is there are an awful lot of people that politically have pushed for measures in the name of anti-Semitism that have done so in order to insert this pernicious ideology. And so what I see now occurring is this. I don't disagree that there are unique things that are happening to Jewish people in many spaces, and it deserves attention. In fact, I've pushed back against people suggesting elsewise. However, it is clear that this is a top priority of the Trump administration, just like bombing Iran was a top priority of the Trump administration. And those issues that people that are Jewish and people that defend Netanyahu and or Israel, even if those issues are real issues, it seems clear that that is the focus. Meanwhile, people that aren't Jewish that experience similar sorts of hatred get fucking nothing. We get scraps, as always, as is always the case. There's no organization for that. There's no anti-Christian organizations that have any clout whatsoever. There's no anti-white coalitions that have any clout whatsoever. There's no anti-men coalitions that have clout whatsoever. Nothing. Fuck these groups. They don't matter. And so it's aggravating to me to see so many people that want to play identity politics. Not you, not all Jewish people, but Jewish organizations that are happy to play identity politics when they're viewed as the oppressor. But as soon as those tactics are turned around and we're told, guess what, Jewish people, we know you think you're people of color, but you're fucking not. You're white. You're the oppressor just like them. And all of a sudden to see them be like, this is outrageous. We were happy to play the identity politics game until we were put on the side of the oppressor, and now we say, fuck you. That's what I see occurring, and I could back it up next time I'm on here with all sorts of laws that push this, including anti-hate speech laws that say that, like, it's hate speech to question the existence of Israel. Fuck you. I should be allowed to question it. Just like like I should be allowed to question the existence of China or Russia or Palestine or England. It doesn't matter, right? But that seems to be where an undue focus is put, and it's always the case. Regardless if you want to think about this or not, there might be more hatred in your eyes against Jewish people. That may or may not be true. I don't know, than white people in general. But I'll say this, at least there's groups and voices that are speaking up that are being heard for that. There ain't shit all when it comes to groups like white people, etc. And when I see Jewish people, when I see the same group, and you I accept is a difference. You I accept is someone that I see that I firmly believe is fucking against like hate speech laws in general, but if they're going to apply, they should apply to all groups, including white people. But I don't see that by almost any mainstream Jewish people whatsoever or organization. I see when they feel that they're the victims, they speak up, and elsewise they're either silent or want to blame white people as the oppressor. That's what I see.
Well, first off, I would say a lot of Jewish people, especially secular Jews, I would argue they're culturally Jewish, but they're not actually Jews. They're communists, and that's their religion, first off. And I would group that with the Anti-Defamation League. They, at first, their origins might have been pro-Jewish, but if they're going after pro-Jewish, advocates like Ben Shapiro, just because he's a conservative, and they're also the Anti-Defamation League is no friend of Israel, by the way, especially Netanyahu, then that's not a group I would point to just because they're the Anti-Defamation League and their origins is Jewish. Now they're just a communist organization. It's the same thing with the Southern Poverty Law Center. What are they really, anti racism, or are they just another group that is there to just attack conservatives? I would argue it's the latter.
So would you agree with me that in 2019, I don't know if you're aware of this law, but Trump signed Executive Order 13899, combating anti-Semitism, December 11th, 2019. I'm not claiming this could be bullshit. I'm just getting a fucking overview from a search of this. But it says, Trump signed this during Hanukkah reception at the White House. This order extended Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 to include discrimination based on anti-Semitism. Okay, so far not that egregious. It directed federal agents to consider International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance, the IHRA, definition of anti-Semitism, which includes examples such as, quote, denying the Jewish people the right of self-determination, i.e. Israel's existence, and, quote, drawing comparisons of contemporary Israeli policy to that of Nazis. Why would that be under Title VI of the hate? Why shouldn't I be allowed to fucking say, I think Israel's acting like Nazis? I'm not saying they are. I haven't said that. But why should that be?
It doesn't seem like that strong of a law, because people all over this country has been literally saying that very thing.
Well,
so where are you getting at, Rob?
Well, I'll respond to that in 1 second. It also says it targeted anti-Semitic incidents on college campus, okay, particularly those linked to BDS. Like, what's wrong with BDS? Like, I don't think that's anti-Semitism. You're all right to be like, we want to boycott people that give money to Israel. You should have the right to do that. But the fact that, okay, it wasn't enforced, that doesn't matter. Show me the law that's commiserate to this, that's not enforced against Christians or white people or men or any other group. It seems to go into a long list. And this shit's always brought up. For example, when Ilhan Omar, or I think it was her, said it's all about the Benjamins when criticizing AIPAC. Look, she's probably most doubtedly an anti-Semite, but I don't find that criticism to be anti-Semitism, an example of it, saying, hey, this Israeli lobby, it's all about money for them. I don't buy this.
It's always all about money for Jews, isn't it? But no, it's okay, so here's the thing. Yes, does AIPAC give a lot of money? Absolutely. Do they give money to, and I'm not a fan of AIPAC strictly because they also give money to people like Elizabeth Warren and what's his face, the senator from the guy that the Nazi salute guy that you do the
Booker.
Booker and all that. Okay, so they give to both sides. Sure, they give to Ted Cruz, but they also give to them. I'm not a fan of that. Again, I'm also not a fan of access-based politics. If you want to move something, so I'm not a fan of their tactics whatsoever. However, what about Qatar giving tens of billions of dollars to not only elected officials, forget about that. They're also giving to higher education and is literally shaping how our children are being, or what they're being taught. And that's one of the biggest reasons why we're seeing a lot of anti-American and anti-Israel rhetoric coming out of these college campuses. It has a lot to do with that. I can also go into China giving a shit ton of money. Where are we going with this? It's just the Jews, though, right? No, the Jews are the one giving all the shit.
I don't say that. You've never heard me
say that. I hear it all the time, Rob. I hear it all the time.
But I also hear all the time that criticizing AIPAC is anti-Semitism. If you criticize Qatar, can you show me one person that said that's racist against Qataris? One? Has there been one credible politician
they'll say that it's anti-Arab. Yeah, absolutely. They'll say that.
I haven't heard that as a big part of the national conversation at all.
Because most people don't talk about it. They talk about AIPAC.
But even to the extent that they would, I don't think I've heard anyone say that, oh my gosh, criticizing.
And first off, you can be against AIPAC and not be anti-Semitic. I mean, that's an asinine thing to say. Like, I'm not saying that.
That's the point.
I'm anti-AIPAC, like I just said. I'm not anti-Semitic.
That's the point I'm making with Ilhan Omar. Like, so many people jump to the conclusion, but
she's literally said anti-Semitic shit.
Okay, that may be true, but the specific claim of criticizing a lobby group for caring about money isn't anti-Semitism. It would be no different than if I said NRA, they're all about money. No one would accuse me of racism or bigotry against the NRA. You would say, yes, that's a lobby group. There's a huge, probably 80% of the people in this country, regardless of the lobbyists, think, they're all interested in money and power. Yeah, that's sort of the nature of lobbying. And so I don't think that, but anyways, I only bring this up to say what happened. So after Ilhan Omar said that, you remember there was this incident before this where you had this congressperson who said that he was a white nationalist. Do you remember this?
No, I don't.
I think he fucked up. I think he meant I'm white, I'm a nationalist, and didn't understand what that term means together, white nationalist, right? So what happened? Republicans came together, kicked him off of all of committees, and then they passed a resolution that was like,
when was this?
Oh, fuck. It was like 3 months before the All About the Benjamins comment from Ilhan Omar.
Oh, okay.
So, anyways, that's what happened, right? So they kicked him off, whatever. Maybe this guy is a fucking white nationalist. I don't know, but nonetheless, Republicans took care of it. Then 3 months later, this happens. It's all about the Benjamins. So Republicans are like, oh, now what? We kicked our dude off all the committees. Now this is anti-Semitism. What are you going to do? And Democrats drafted a bill that Republicans largely signed off, a House resolution. Do you remember that resolution?
I remember there was a resolution that a lot of Jews in the Jewish caucus put forward, but not because of all about the Benjamin comment, but there was some other egregious anti-Semitic comment that she made. I forget what it was. Maybe. She made several. So, I mean, you can just look it up.
Look, I don't like Ilhan Omar and assume she is an anti-Semite, so I don't give a shit. But it was certainly about comments she made. We can agree with that, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they passed this resolution and Republicans sign off on it. And if you read the resolution, it's like this. It's like, we condemn harmful anti-Semitic tropes and racist behavior, and like this. And it gives a couple examples. By the way, it doesn't give any Democrats. It's like the KKK and the skinheads. Okay. Then it's like, and we also condemn hatred against Muslims. And it gives examples of that. And then it's like, and we condemn hatred against black people. And it gives examples of that. And it's like,
but nothing against white people.
Right. It doesn't say shit about hatred against Christians. Doesn't say shit against hatred against white people. Doesn't say shit about hatred against men. It's every other group. Now, here's this group, the Democrats, that are
that's wrong.
Making an excuse for being anti-Semitic, and they turn it into, yes, anti-Semitism's bad, and anti-Muslim bigotry's bad, and anti-fucking LGBT bigotry, and anti-women bigotry, and all this shit. And that's what I'm seeing from my perspective, is that I grew up in a fucking country that every cultural institution and every fucking political institution in this country thinks that it's okay to demonize me. And fucking, for who I am, for how I was born, not just my skin color, not just my gender, but also where I was born, that I'm in rural America, that I'm a blue-collar worker. And the answer I get from everyone is, fuck you. You don't get a voice. Fuck you. And when I elect someone, they ain't sticking up for me. They're not going out there saying, like, you know what? We're tired of this shit. We're tired of curriculums that deal with the problems of whiteness. I'm tired of walking into fucking debates from 2003 until like 2013, 14, Every fucking tournament having to hear about the evils of whiteness. Every fucking one. Every one. And no one bats an eye. It's always just like, but the Jewish kids were able to say, oh my God, this is anti-Semitism. And everyone applauded. And the women were able to say, this is sexism against women. And the LGBT people were able to say it, but never white people. Fuck them. They're the problem. Never men. Fuck them. Never Christians. Fuck them. They're the privilege. This country's designed for them. Fuck everyone else. And so when I see Donald Trump come in and they're passing these hate laws and shit, I have no problem saying this motherfucker right here punched a Jewish kid. This motherfucker right here helped bar Jewish kids just because they were Jewish from getting into the building. Fine, no problem. But it seems evident that that's where the focus is on. And that's fine. I'm saying either get away with all the fucking laws or enforce them equally, because there's an awful lot of hatred for these other groups like white people.
100%.